Thanks to my dad, I have a lot of her albums, and I mean album, that I was raised on. And I thought I had them all, till I started doing my homework. And she recorded over 1,000 songs. It's astounding. I mean, just astounding. So there's this one really cool album that you might not know about that she made in 1965. It's called Latin for Lovers. And I like this song. And it made a resurgence in the 90s when it was in that crazy, wonderful movie, Strictly Ballroom. You won't admit you love me, and so how am I ever to know? You always tell me, perhaps, perhaps, perhaps. A million times I've asked you, and then I ask you over again. You always answer, perhaps, perhaps, perhaps. If you can't make your mind up, we'll never get started. And I don't want to wind up being parted, broken hearted. So if you really love me, say yes, and if you don't, dear, confess. But please don't tell me, perhaps, perhaps, perhaps. Chris Denny, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't make your mind up, we'll never get started. And I don't want to wind up being parted, broken hearted. So if you really love me, say yes. And if you don't, dear, confess. But please don't tell me, perhaps, 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 perhaps. Isn't that just the best? Thank you.